Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video, and for this one it is No Second Prize, which was released by Thalion Simulations, or at least that's who the developers were. I don't know if it was self-published or what, and this was released in 1990. I do seem to be doing a bit of a glut of racing games lately, but, well, that's just how it's worked out. It's certainly not intentional. I prefer to have a little bit of variety, but anyway, quite some time ago, it almost feels like another fucking lifetime ago, I did a review of Powerdrome, which is a game that I think is fucking superb. But a lot of people didn't like it because they found it far too hard to control. Yeah, okay, you know, newcomers, it is a fucking hard game, and you do have to persevere with it quite a bit. This is no different. I did have this game back in the day, but I didn't play it very often because it never really grabbed me. I think I got it at a really bad time. Around this time in 1990, I was buying Amiga games by a fucking bucket load, as well as acquiring some at a fair old rate. So this was a game that sort of got buried away because, like I say, I was getting loads of really, well, what I thought back then were really good games, and so I never played this one very much, and I suspect the difficulty that I had controlling it probably played more than a small part in that. So yeah, I mean, alright, it's probably not as difficult as Powerdrome, but it is not easy. I suspect there'll be a few of you who will be getting acute seasickness watching this while I try to gain control of the bike. Anyway, enough of all that fucking bollocks. So we were on the main page then with the predictable options. So you can start a full season, training, which is a single race on a whatever track you like. Load game, makes sense because when you look at how many tracks there are and the full season races on every single one, yeah, you will be needing to save game. And then there's lap records and lap info on each of the circuits. So, well, let's start off training. And now you get to select your driver. So you have a choice of 6. Frankly, I think they all look like absolute cunts, but they also all have different stats. And the ones, well, actually, I mean, they're all pretty important. I mean, this cunt here, I mean, everything is either max or nearly max, apart from curve. Curve is pretty obvious now how well you go around corners, and on this game in particular, you really do need that. So you've got to be pretty fucking good at this game when you know, if you choose to race as Ray Turner here, it's more like Ray Charles with a bad haircut. Anyway, so this one here, yeah, curve is absolutely superb. Speed is pretty good. Acceleration is not too bad, but yes. HP is hit points body, because if you have collisions, the rider takes hits, the hit points go up, and so does the machine. And if any one of those gets maxed out, then you're out of the race, either because your bike is just in pieces or you're dead. And then this one, see again, speed is really good, acceleration is not too bad, but curve is average at best. So I think this one here, yeah, this is the best sort of compromise, but his acceleration is pretty shitty. His speed is not bad, but there are quite a few that are better than that. His curve's pretty good, and the hit points are pretty good, so I'll race as this cunt, Fabrizio Adorno. And now you can see what I mean about the number of circuits. There is no shortage of them at all. And I think they are all known circuits. Obviously Paul Ricard there certainly is. I'm quite keen to see that return to Formula 1 next year. French Grand Prix will be at the Paul Ricard circuit in 2018. So we have Chiswick, Knutford, Mallory Parks, these are all British ones. Wanston Manor, never heard of that one. So anyway, I mean, there's plenty of them. There are some overseas ones as well. Brad says that looks like Hockenheim. Yes, it is. I don't know Oliver's Mount or Harrogate isn't exactly overseas. Alton Park certainly isn't. So okay, looks like there might be one. Okay, the Salzburg Ring. I'm guessing that's overseas. Laguna Seca is also, that's in America. I fucking hate Laguna Seca. That fucking bullshit corkscrew corner is just a fucking joke. Okay, so Imola, the old San Marino Grand Prix track. So anyway, let's start at Paul Ricard then, starting France. I'll have all the drivers. So I will select automatic gears, largely because I can't remember the key to change gear, and I do set mouse sensitivity to the lowest. Even with the lowest sensitivity, it's sensitive enough. So let's get a move on then, and we'll load up the game. So this game uses vector graphics, which you will very clearly see. But there is no denying they are fast, and they are pretty smooth. I mean, okay, I have seen better, but you know, they're not terrible. This is being played on an Amiga 500 with the regular stock 6800, 68,000 processor. With 2 meg RAM, 1 meg of which is fast RAM, but that doesn't really make a great deal of difference on. Yeah, and here we go, straight off, and now I fucking hit some cunt, and now I've got to try and get back on there again, but now I'm fucking last by a fucking mile, and yeah, this is very much my experience of playing this game. I fucking hit another cunt. Now these grey and brown bikes, they are basically drone bikes. They're all around the circuit. They do not count if you overtake them. You have to actually overtake the bikes of colours. Looks like I am catching them up, slowly but surely, along this extremely long straight. So I mean, I'm sure this game, you know, will run better and smoother and that if you can get this game to run on something like, you know, a 1200 or an 11 Amiga review is on an Amiga 3000. Fuck knows how I managed to get an Amiga 3000. I can't even find the fucking Kickstart 1.4 discs for it. Fucking yes, look at this. So, well, I did get myself up to about 4th, I think, but it didn't last very long. So anyway, yes, I mean, I'm sure it would run smoother than that on a 1200, but I can't get this game to work on any Amiga other than a completely stock 500. Even if I overclock the processor and leave everything else as it was, it still fucks up. The graphics all get corrupted and everything. So yeah, I don't know if it's because of the way I've got my WinUAE set up, or if it's the disk image or what, but I can't run this on anything but the 2 meg Amiga 500 that I have configured. So that's 1 lap done, 2 minutes 51. That's shit, even by my standards. My fastest ever lap around here is something like 2 minutes 42. So yeah, I am not what anybody would call any good at this game. I'm fucking hopeless at it. I mean, it is unbelievably tricky to control, largely because of using the mouse. But that said, I always believed that if a racing game gives you the option to use the mouse, then that will be the best option to use, because it's the only one that will give you like full analog control. I'm fucking all over the place. I mean, you see the fucking huge great length of this straight that I'm about to get on, and I am the entire length of this straight behind the 5th place fucking rider. I have never actually, well, not only have I never won a race, I've never finished a race. I always end up taking too much damage to either the bike or the rider. So yeah, and like I say, this is despite the fact that I did have the game back in the day. I just didn't play it very often. Certainly nowhere near often enough. I mean, I'm sure, you know, given that if I'd played this as often as I played Powerdrome, I'd probably be okay. But I didn't, so I'm not. I mean, at the moment, I'm fucking weaving around like one of those cars in Lotus Turbo Challenge or whatever. By my standards, I took that corner pretty fucking well. But now here comes the really tight hairpin. This is where I really will fuck it up. Hard on the brakes, but actually, for me, that was fucking good. It's all to no avail though, because the other bikes are fucking, well, they're in a different time zone to me. Oh, fucking hell, and then I go slamming into the back of a fucking bike, which now I'm facing the wrong fucking way. And when the bike is barely moving, that is when you have the most difficulty controlling it. When you've got some speed up, it's not too bad, but you've got to get that speed up. So I was doing semi-okay, and then I do a fucking 256.3. What a fucking pile of shit. So, well, let's get the review underway then, shall we? The presentation is no great shakes. It does the job, but it's not remarkable, so I can hardly, you know, criticise it for that. You know, it does all that it needs to do. Graphics, I actually think the graphics are pretty good. I think the vector graphics work well. I'd say they are fast. And okay, they could be smoother and they could be a bit faster, but they're not terrible on this A500 setup I've got here. The graphics in, like, you know, the title page and, you know, the circuit maps and all that are so-so, but I mean, again, they work. Audio, I think the music actually is pretty good. It's not remarkable, but it is, yeah, it is certainly, there's some pretty good tunes that bash away in this one. The audio in the game, again, I think the audio is pretty good. The sound of the engine sound of your own bike is a bit weedy, but the other ones, the other bikes as you go past, they are, they're not too bad. Very reminiscent of the sound of the cars that you're passing in Indianapolis 500. But I can't help wondering actually if this game does use some of the assets from Indy 500. Now I think about it, maybe not. I mean, they're completely different developers and publishers. I can't imagine it going down all that well if this lot had used anything from Indy 500. .227, that is my best ever time by a fucking mile. Sorry, oh fucking what a cunt. And now I'm going the wrong fucking way. And again the fucking seasick inducing zigzags I tried to get under control. So now I've completely lost the thread of where I was. Okay, yes, I've covered graphics, covered audio. The gameplay, well, the game is really fucking hard to get to grips with, and yeah, back in the day it put me off big time. But then, like I said, when I did my review of Powerdrome, loads of people were saying that they got put off that, and I thought that game was great because I did have enough practice. So this is one of those games where it is rather stating the obvious that practice makes perfect, but yeah, if you do persevere, it does it does reward. I mean, although I think the game is fucking difficult, it's not that I don't like playing it. I wouldn't say it's the best Amiga game I've ever played. It's not even the best racing game on the Amiga I've ever played. It's fucking not even close, you know. I mean, I've played plenty of racing games that I think are better than this. But I've also played a huge number of games that I think are far worse. This actually isn't too bad. But yes, you do have to sort of spend a bit of time getting to grips with the controllers, otherwise you're gonna have problems. That was easily the smoothest I've taken that hairpin. So, I mean, well, there you go. I mean, in the space of 4 laps, I'm definitely improving in this game. So, I don't know, maybe it doesn't take an enormous amount of time to get to grips with the controls. I feel like I'm improving every time. There we go. Despite the crash, 236.7. This is the final lap, as you can see by the fact that the map is flashing. So, I mean, I'm not going to finish anywhere other than last, but I might actually finish, which, like I say, I have never done before. So we could be seeing a first here in my gaming life. Fucking going tits up now. Oh, fucking look at this. Get on the fucking track. At last. But now I am absolutely guaranteed to finish last. I'm in two minds about all these drone motorcycles here. I mean, okay, if you're as shit as me, if they weren't there, you wouldn't see another fucking motorcycle, you know, for the entire race. But, I mean, they are fucking annoying when, you know, on the occasions when you do fucking hit the cunting things, like then, I seem to have gone straight through that one. But yeah, when you hit the fuckers, and yet they are essentially not even in the race. So you end up like I am, fucking, you know, not even in the same time zone as the other 5 riders in the race, and yet, yeah, there's still all these other bikes here that you can, well, you are going to struggle to pass, especially when you are new to the game. So the game is not newcomer friendly at all. It does sort of really drop you in it. You know, people who say that you know, fucking the Codemasters F1 games of the last like couple of years are hard. Fucking you try racing this if you think that game's hard. So there we go, 229.1. So I was 11 seconds behind the 5th place rider. Actually, by my standards, that's fucking good. Say, the fact that I even finished a race, that's staggering for me. I've never finished a race before, so you got a bit of a first there. Right, I may regret this, but I'll have one of those, and then I will also start another race. Let's see if I can find a circuit that doesn't have any really sharp bends. There are no hairpins or anything. I mean, obviously Silverstone looks okay. This fucking thing here, the old Salzburg ring. Okay, let's try that one. So again, we'll have all drivers. Yep, they're all set as they should be. Let's give this one a go. Yeah, so because my acceleration isn't much cop compared to the rest of them, they always fucking leave me for dust. And now I've got to try and, I have to say, that map does look more than a little fucking phallic. Oh, fucking what? Oh, here we go. And smash straight into the tree. And, yeah, you know what? There we go. So, how do I rate it? I'd say it's a decent game, but it is fucking hard. You will need an awful lot of practice. I guess it's up to you as to whether or not you think it is worth that practice. But it is a good game to play once you start, you know, getting a few passes together and getting around a few corners and that, and you start to feel like you're actually getting somewhere. It is more enjoyable. But when you're forever languishing around the back and constantly slamming into everything and always, you know, weaving around like fuck knows what just to try and get yourself into a straight line, it does get a bit frustrating, to put it mildly. But yeah, it is a decent game, despite me being shit at it and despite me getting rather frustrated by the whole thing. I will score it 8 out of 10. I think it is pretty good. I know that Psygnosis did their own version of almost exactly the same game, motorcycle racing game using vector graphics. I can't remember the title of it, but you know, if you find this one a bit too fast and a bit too difficult, look up that one and maybe give that one a try. So I can't remember the title. I've never played it, almost certainly never will. There's something about Psygnosis games that, they always have me hesitating. But for this one, 8 out of 10. So, that is no second prize for the Amiga then, and that brings this review to an end. And we'll see you at the next one.